Can we find a way to get the Schofield revolver, the bolt-action rifle, and Callaway's revolver at the very beginning of Chapter 2, all in one fell swoop without alerting the law? Let's find out.
I don't think you should just be wandering around here, friend. No, right, down you go.
Yep. It's okay. Of course. Stay here, boy.
Another drink here, man.
You think you work here? Move!
Come on. Here.
Good morning, mister.
Leviticus Cornwall's train robbers still at large.
Come on.
Good job. You take it.
Leviticus
Okay,
Cornwall's
boy.
train robbers
Let's go.
still at large.
Huh. I suppose you could eat a day on them scraps.
Welcome, sir. You new patient? I only keep select items on the shelf. Wait a sec. You can't be over there. And there's nothing for you back there, sir. Am I? Listen, I don't treat folks who cover
What do you
up their
want?
identity.
This is private. Get lost.
show your face, or I'll have to get the law. I don't want anything to do with this.
Let me into that back room of yours right now.
Sir, please. You don't want to get involved with them, I promise you.
You make them open up, or you're a dead man.
Hey, open up. It's me. I brought some food and whiskey for you fellers.
Yeah, it's only the doc.
Don't try anything funny.
Thought you were that cowpoke who bothered us earlier. Put it on the table.
Okay, now.
Why is your face covered like that?
Are you looking for trouble?
My sister, now she's knocked up. It's like what happens on regular clock. Hey, that won't surprise anybody.
You draw iron in front of me, you better... You fixing to get on the wrong side of me? Hey, gunslinger. Got my eye on you.
This, I got nothing to do with this. Oh. No, this is bad.
The hell you think you're doing here? You better kill me, or when I get loose... Cock-sucking inbred! Very kind of you.
What the heck?
I'm getting a bad feeling seeing your face covered like that.
Hey, wake the hell up! We got trouble!
So you're rethinking your choices now.
Get in there! We can take him! Get in there and pull him out! We're all Driscoll boys, you dumb bastard!
You ain't telling me, you son of a bitch!
Now, I'm just gonna check your pockets.
What the Sam Hill?
No need to act like this.
Shit! Oh, hell no! Let me be. No need for